Shalom. I am Rabbi Davidovich, speaking to you on behalf of the webyeshiva.org, speaking to you from Efrat, Israel. I'm going to discuss a little bit about this week's Torah reading, which is Parsha Behaalotcha. And Behaalotcha starts out with the command to, Hashem tells to Moshe, to Moses, to command, to tell Aaron, his brother, to light the menorah. The sentence says, Daber al Aaron, speak to Aaron, v'omartu elav, and tell him, Behaalotcha et hanerot, when you raise up the candles of the menorah, el mul panei menorah, towards the face of the menorah, Yu'iru Shivas Hanerot, you shall light 7 lights. And Rashi comments on the first sentence of this reading. He says, why is this particular portion of the menorah here following the dedication of the Tabernacle, where all of the tribes brought their offerings, and why is this particular segment about the menorah brought here instead of where the other vessels of the tabernacle were discussed? And he says that the reason was that Aaron he felt that he had been slighted. He felt that he had done something wrong to God. He was not understanding why all of the tribes were able to bring their offerings for the tabernacle, but his tribe, the tribe of Levi, was not. And he thought that maybe it was because of his not being able to stop the golden calf, the worshiping of the golden calf. He didn't know, but he was very upset. So God said to him, don't worry, your reward will be greater than theirs. Why? The commentaries tell us. God is telling Aaron that your reward of lighting the menorah is something that will continue through eternity. Whereas the offerings that the other tribes bring on the altar, they would only be brought while the Beis Hamikdash, the holy temple or the tabernacle, was in existence. And after the tabernacle was destroyed, after the Mishkan, the holy temple was destroyed, the Beis Hamikdash, they could no longer bring the korbanos. So he says, because of that, your reward is greater than theirs. So you needn't feel slighted. Anyway, the commentaries ask, that sounds nice, but we know that when the temple was destroyed, the menorah was hidden away. We don't know where the menorah is. There have been various people giving possible thoughts about where it might be, but nobody really knows. It's been hidden away. So how is the light of the menorah continuing? So I think in order to understand that, in order to give us a lesson as to how to access God's light in this world, we have to understand the kind of light that the menorah was giving. First of all, when the world was created, God said on the first day, let there be light, and the light was good. Well, the light of the first day was not the sunlight. The sun was created several days later. The light of the first day was a light, a primordial light of God's Spirit. And with that light, you could literally see from one end of the world to the other. And God understood that there would be a time when there would be wicked people in the world who should not be able to enjoy this light. So he therefore hid the light. It's called the Or HaGanuz, the hidden light. And he made it accessible only to the tzaddikim, the righteous people, and made it accessible through the light of the menorah. So if the menorah is not here anymore, how do we still have this light? Further, God says to us in the creation of the world, God blessed the seventh day. And the commentators say he blessed the seventh day with light, the light of Shabbat. When we are lighting the menorah, when the command is given to light the menorah, it says, raise it up, Behaalotcha. It doesn't say to light. It uses the word of lifting up, which symbolizes that the soul of man is the candle of God, symbolizing that in order to access light, we have to lift up our spirituality. So this light, this organuz, was present in the menorah. But even though the menorah was taken away, was hidden away, it's still present to this very moment and accessible by studying Torah and by observing Shabbat. And it's interesting, the way the menorah was framed. It's a 7-branch menorah. It's not like the Hanukkah menorah that you might typically think of, which is eight candles. The menorah is 7. And the menorah was designed so that 3 candles on each side, 3 lights on each side, would face the middle. Would face the 7th one. So the commentators say that that's a reference to the lights of the 7 days of creation and the lights of the 7 days of our current week, with the first 3 lights on one side representing the first 3 days of the week. The other side, the representation was of the other 3 days, being the 6 days, all facing towards Shabbat, because Shabbat is the source of great light. And the Shabbat, observing the Sabbath, gives us the ability to really observe this light and take this light within us. I like to think of the Shabbat as a bubble of light in which we are encased in. And with this light, we can cut through any darkness. And this light is accessible. It's accessible to any one of us, to every one of us. All one has to do is keep the Shabbos, not just we're not talking about only observing the prohibitions, refraining from the prohibitions, but you have to make Shabbos. You have to make Shabbos something special where you're continuing your relation with yourself and God, and in that process, you'll be able to capture the light of Shabbat. And that's why the Hashem blessed us, as I said a moment ago. And what did he bless us with? He blessed us with or. This is light that is accessible to all of us, and we can choose. We have a choice. We can choose to walk in the darkness like a fool, or we can choose to access light to help us find our way through the darkness. And the darkness doesn't mean only the physical absence of light. The darkness means whatever darkness we have from our own difficulties in life, the light of Shabbos can pierce through that and show us that life is in fact beautiful. We can spread this light. The job of the Jewish people is to be an or lagoyim, is to be a light to the nations of the world. So my blessing to all of us is that we should all take this light, take the light of Shabbos, carry it through the entire week, spread it not only through the week, but through the entire month, year, and spread it to everybody else. Thank you for listening on behalf of the webyeshiva.org. Shabbat Shalom.